Hey, what's up guys? It's Decio from Dogz. Boom. That's a setup session. I'm going to introduce my boards to you. I got a whole bunch of them. So in no particular order, I'll start off with this little penny guy. I don't like plastic, especially as a board, but some construction worker knows me from spoofing the cam, and he gave it to me, and funny enough, I took it apart the first thing, and the first thing I did was I refurbished my Mini Master. This guy is so good for missioning around. The favorite thing about this thing is it's just so nippy. You can cut any corners. I've wedged it both angles like that, so both trucks turn a lot more. And what happened was funny enough, Timmy was skating home one night, and this crazy dude stole the board off him and managed to skate off with it. And luckily through board up we recovered the board, and then I found out, hey, get my board back. I skated down the Glen Road, get to the bottom of the road, and I'd snapped the whole pivot point. And then actually on the pivot point, what I did was I put a screw through there, and then I heated it up with a blowtorch and redid it. But then after a lot of skating, I broke it again. So luckily enough, those penny trucks, I popped back onto this boy, and he always seems to go missing. I got some arbors on here, some seismics, and some Bennett bushings, and then independent bushings at the top. So it's really turny. Also use this board for filming in houses and stuff with the Movi. Yeah, it's a super favorite. It's like a big roller skate. So anyway, back to the penny board. This little thing then, I found some trucks rusting, and I refurbished them, and I got it back together. Thanks to Mike Upham for the little Sector 9s, because I lent him my Aeros for a long time. He hooked me up with these little boys, and I've just recently set this up for throwing it around. It's kind of like the bottom of the rank. Okay, what should we go for next? Next we got our Surfskate. This is me and Timmy's. We got sponsored this board with our video. You can check it out on our YouTube channel. The Surfskate's a really cool board. It's like surfing on land, obviously. And the springy truck in here pivots all the way. And there's another spring, so it will keep it straight. So if it pops out, it'll pop back in. Obviously, because of this turning mechanism style, you can, once the board arches in, you can really get a wind out the front foot and then push it with the back. You can bust some slides. I don't recommend high speeds on this thing. Me and Timmy can try to take it to the test, but you can't glove down on this board. You can try, but I wish you good luck. Probably pad up before you do that. Yeah, the Surfskate, me and Timmy take it down the promenade. It's kind of the board to go check the waves. Okay, then this is funny as fuck. This is so funny. I started street skating, so I recommend to anyone who's going to be getting into longboarding or anything is to get a street board first, funny enough, because that's how I started. Started street skating, and then got into downhill later, and then I kind of still love the street skating. And these new hollow point 149s, I've had the funniest story. I've had 169s when I was coming from longboarding back into street skating, and that's the measurement of the axle. And that truck was so wide. Then I spoke to some Gram on the internet, and he said he's got indies for me, so I went to go hook them up, and they were 139s. So eventually I sold both those trucks, and then I got my hollow point 149s. And I promise you, if you like to bust a few tricks, tray flips, you don't want to go back. Independent all the way. And get a street board, yeah, man. That's how you learn how to tic-tac, how you learn all the movements, all the balance, and there you are. Habitat board from Board Hub. Kai Pringle tuned me to get that one. He says it's best pop, nice Canadian maple. Next time I'm going to go for a local street board, probably Project skateboards. They got some plunkies out, those are really sick, and I think Silk Grenade's going to be having some street boards coming soon, so that's something exciting. Cool, so we move on. This is one of my favorite commuters. I recently put on these wheels on it. That's because these wheels are the fastest roll speed. I didn't believe it when I first heard Richard was going on about it, everyone, and then Andre got them and he was riding on his board, and one night we were on a Tuesday night skate session at night, and Timmy had his board and he was just blasting through all of us, and we were like, nah, that's the device, and we know through Kevin Reimer he's got the device. So next thing I try this and I'm blown away, and once I realized the roll speed on these wheels, Timmy actually hooked me up a set for my birthday, super stoked, and I love them. The grip is really slacking, but for having a slalom board where you do, this board is like snowboarding on land. So I've got my sky hooks for jumping, I've wedged the back truck, I've got a harder 95 Venom, and then a softer red one, 90, and then a 93 green, and then a softer 90 as well. I got the tall bushings, double barrels in the front, and then the shorter stub barrels in the back. Wedged so the back truck turns slower, wedged so the front truck turns more, and this Silk Grenade is wow. This is like, I don't know what to call it. It's like, wow. It's got carbon Kevlar inside. Ati's really outdone himself with the shape. I was with him speaking about his boards and stuff, and I said to him, I want a board where I can slide, jump, and still maintain speed, do everything, but almost like a mini monster, and he managed to pull that off so well. I'm so stoked. Well done, Ati. Yeah, this is one of my favorite boards. Cool. And then we move on. Okay. This boy. Yeah. Okay. This is Lanyard Tomahawk, thanks to the inspiration of Andre. This was his old setup. And it's a very flat board, which I realized with freeriding, it's the board you want, a flatter board. There's not much to talk about this board except for the fact that it was way too flexy, and me and Andre, we cut off the front nose, give it a bit more rigidity, a new shape, harder shape, and then I took it to John from Boardyard, and he put on a carbon Kevlar layer for me, and that really changed it. Then I sanded out the wheel wells myself, because I've had some really gnarly bails from wheel bite. That's my pet hate, is wheel bite. So it's really got a lot of nice clearance on there. And then I'm on the Caliber Precisions, and I've got it set up with Venoms through and through. All my setups are right Venoms. I love the bushings. I don't think anyone comes close to them yet, so that's just my gut feel. Sweet. Okay, I got my first toe stopper, Dogz prototype by me, hand molded by clay, eventually fitted it on nice and aero and sleek. What I realized was that it didn't have the adjustments that I wanted it, and I could definitely improve on that. So the new pterodactyl is out. Actually, it's still in construction. We had a problem with our guy who builds it for us, so we're going to start doing it ourselves. That's how the world works. Sick. Now we move on to my Boardyard prototype board with John Upham. What a legend this guy is. I mean, he makes all my helmets. He makes crazy boards. I go downhill mountain biking with him. Mad respect. Yeah, this board, wow. It's like super aggressive. Everything I designed in this board was all with the reason of going fast and being ahead of the rest. So screw the prototype, I'll show you the real thing. This is him. Okay, the 26 Special. I love this board, and after riding it for a while, I've had to customize it because it's my first shape that I've come out with for racing. Huge wheel arches, as I mentioned before, I hate wheel bite. Really aggressive concave in the front here, which I have for my toe side and heel side turns, so that I can stay in my tuck through aggressive corners where other guys will have to shift their feet. I can maintain my foot in one position through the whole hill. I've really dug in here with Ati, went to the workshop and put in a gas pedal here. Because of that aggressive arch, I wanted the best of both worlds. For the sliding, when you're doing your slides, you need a flatter board. Especially your heel needs to sit off the side on a heel side slide. So with that in mind, now when I'm leaning through a corner where I'm tucking, I need that hard edge to dig in to get that crank, to get that leverage to turn. Now if I need both, it becomes complicated, and that's where I realized I needed to pop in that gas pedal so I can just crank in my foot there, bang, snap it in, bust my slide. The same with the back tails on the board, super aggressive. Once I shaved in my gas pedals, it's just become a dream setup to me. It just handles anything. Especially when we were in Kazakov, Andre introduced me to the main man at SCOA. And wow, you know, German precision, what can you do? I don't think there's anything better than that. You know, the Chinese can try, they'll make it cheaper, but damn, these SCOA trucks is like putting a Formula One car under your board. Got 47 degrees standard and 27 standard at the back. 60 the M specs, 60 width of the axle. These trucks are amazing. If you want to race or you want to be fast on a downhill board, get SCOAs. Hands down. Okay, my bushing at the back here is the pinky from Venom. I think it's 98. I might have to edit in that. Got the white 95, and then I got a double red in front. That's thanks to Aaron Hampshire's influence. He knows the split angle game down. Once you travel to mountain pass type of country where there's no thick air, you got no air braking, it's all about drifting, maintaining your speed, maintaining your tuck over long distances where you're not fighting your board. You need a lower angle at the back truck, and you need a way harder bushing if you want to do that. Recently I did dust clip pass, and if I didn't have this setup, if I was in my old setup, the Nemesis, I would have died. It's funny because I did the world tour thinking, you know, in my mind I had this vision that this Nemesis board was the best board, because when I first started skating, I looked up on this Lanyards website and they had this board, and it was exactly the same as the Nemesis shape, but I never got it. And it was that drop down, and I always thought to myself, the lower you are, the more stable, the more aerodynamic, everything. But what I didn't realize is that when you low down like that, you're below your pivot point, and basically you are a hammock. So imagine you want to slow down and you want to brake and you want to apply all that pressure on top of your wheels, but now you're below that pressure on the wheels, so you're hammocking, you're pulling it like this, and you don't have the pressure. Once you go onto a board like this on the top mount, your shutting down speed, your extra grip is just outweighs the rest, outweighs being lower to the ground, outweighs the extra aerodynamics, and even having the flatter board like that cuts through the air better. So there's no, if you look at the world circuit, you see there's no one that rides LCG, lower center of gravity boards anymore. It just doesn't work. The game's changed. You know, people are a lot faster. How we've progressed in downhill is phenomenal, and because it's not coverage, people don't understand it. But if you look back at the videos, the skaters know. So I'll keep my mouth shut about that. Anyway, this is my pterodactyl. You got a little stash spot in there. Pick your board up. Best for acid drops. That's one of my favorite things. Your foot scoops in here, so when you're busting your toe side, no chance of it. It's aerodynamic. The top here, if you smash your board, the spine protects it. It's got more than 4 types of adjustments, and if you want to do a heel side as well, when you cranking your foot this way, it helps you on your heel side. I love this thing, and I'm going to build them so that you guys can have them as well. Cool. I've been on these Land Yachts Biggie Hogs, and before I was on the Seismics. I shouldn't be telling you guys this, but I like kind of sort of hit a car with these wheels on. I wasn't having a good day. So I don't like them at the moment, but let me ride them more and I'll see. I still prefer a bit of a narrower wheel. And yeah, I think I prefer the Rad and the Seismic wheel definitely to this. Cool. Moving on. We have, this is my girlfriend's setup. And it was a birthday gift from Ati. She gifted her with the beautiful Silk Grenade. I love this board. It's similar to my Slalom. They're like brother and sister. And people think skyhooks are gay or whatever. I don't care. I love them. It's like snowboarding on tar. I just need a few kickers. It's a pity they don't build driveways like skaters would, because if you got some launches on the road, it just changes the world. It's like, wow. Anyway, the Rogus, these trucks are really cool, and Chase Hiller makes you know that they work. And that's exactly what I've done. I've popped them on here to have a free ride, jumping monster beast. But anyway, it's not mine, so we'll see about me riding it. And last but not least, we have the Nemesis Go Ape Shit Gravity Dogz mountain board. Swap Ricky for some Gravity Dogz gear, some merch, and he hooked me up with this. You know, Ricky's a hustler, so he always gets a better deal. And what can I say? It took me about 4 hours to refurbish it, and we set it up with, you can check the video, I'll be posting that as well, but we set it up with the foot hooks, and I ate so much dirt. Damn. Thank God I was padded up, G-form, head to toe, but sure. And I want to hit it again, so this is just a lovely board. Also, I'm going to be using it for tracking on dirt and things, you know, and busting some standees, man. I want to try redesign and see if I can pop on my downhill trucks and get a bit more grip out of the wheels and a better turn, a sharper turn. So I'm going to be importing some wheels that I can pop onto my downhill trucks, and then I'm also getting another set of trucks, so set up a few more boards. Yeah, man, I love skating, as you all know, and that's my shit. And what else?